Money Moody, not so money today. Remember, they spent a third round pick on this kicker. A lot of people told me that it was a great pick because of various reasons, and it still may be. But my whole point with Moody is that he needs to be a top 5 kicker in this league in order for it to be worth it. When over half the kickers, starting kickers in the NFL, are undrafted free agents, including the best kicker by far in the NFL, maybe the best kicker in NFL history when it's all said and done. Moody starting 0 for 2 today is not great, especially because we know how kickers work. There's something very superstitious about the way that a kicker goes about their business. And a kicker can have an off day, and then that ruins everything for them for weeks, months, or forever. Hopefully Moody's able to bounce back, but not an encouraging start to his career going 0 for 2 today. What were your thoughts on Moody?
We were together for the live stream where Jake Moody was selected at the 99th or at the 102 overall pick or whatever it was. And we were not happy. Not because Jake Moody is a bad player. Right. Regardless of how he performed today, I don't think Jake Moody is a bad player. But overall, when you talk about positional value, this is the highest a kicker has ever been drafted since 2016 in the second round when Roberto Aguayo was taken, and he was a bust, unfortunately. He was not a good kicker. You look back before that, it's 5 more years that you turn the clock. If you look at the kickers last year, 8 of the top 10 kickers in accuracy were undrafted. You look at the top 25 kickers, there's at least 75% of those kickers that went undrafted. It just tells you that the value at the position is not as high as what the 49ers were achieving. Now, this pick can still become a good pick nonetheless.
For sure.
If Jake Moody performs as you hope he performs, which, as Jesse said, is a top 5 kicker in the NFL. If Jake Moody can become a top 5 kicker in the NFL, the 49ers killed this draft pick because that is a position where they have looked to at least secure some stability at after losing Robbie Gould, and that is the case. However, it's unfortunate to see Jake Moody start off poorly. And am I that concerned? No, not necessarily. I thought he played well in training camp, but I also thought there wasn't that big of a gap between him and Zane Gonzalez, who the 49ers are, they traded a conditional 7th round pick for, who's essentially not that valuable overall. That's the thing that I saw from this kicking competition. And yes, every time that it's unfortunate, but every time that Jake Moody doesn't have a great game, there are going to be 2 things tied to him. 1, his draft status, and 2, the fact, the high expectations that come with it, understanding where he was selected and understanding that he really doesn't have that much room, that much room for error in a season where the 49ers are coming off pretty high-end kicker play, at least in the postseason. Uninspiring start for him. Not concerned right now, but still not great.
Yeah, most definitely. Jets Gang says y'all got smoked. Bro, it's preseason. Like, I don't know. There's how many teams have done well and gone to the playoffs that were like 0-3 or back then 0-4 in the preseason? Like, it's preseason. I know that, like, as a Jets fan, you probably feel really good about preseason wins because you guys don't go to the playoffs very often, but we don't care about preseason wins. Now, I'm not saying you don't take anything from preseason, but we didn't have starters playing. So I don't really care if they got smoked in a preseason game. Nobody's going to remember this in a month from now. So we'll see. Hopefully you guys can make the playoffs. You guys got a tough division yourself. So, that's
the Jets
what it
lost
is.
To Kellen Mond to start off the preseason. That should tell you how valuable the preseason is.
Exactly.
Lost to Kellen Mond. Yeah.